In this video, we will examine how to complete the Incident Check-in List, ICS Form 211. The ICS Form 211 is used to record the arrival of personnel and equipment at an incident location. This information is used to maintain an inventory of all incident resources. Leadership uses this information to help guide the development of strategies and tactics to meet incident objectives. The ICS Form 211 is started by the individuals staffing the various check-in locations. The first three items that they will complete are the basic elements shared across all ICS forms: the incident name in Block 1, the incident number in Block 2, and the date and time in Block 4. These three blocks are extremely important since they tie this form's information to the response details. Remember, multiple incidents can occur at the same time within a state or region, so the incident name and number ensure incident resources and costs are tracked properly. In our example, the incident occurred at the Liberty County Fairgrounds, so we will use that as the incident name. The incident number here is the year, date, and initials for the Liberty County Fairgrounds, LCF. Incident commanders receive the incident number from dispatch command, or they create their own based on local protocols. The people staffing the check-ins should obtain the incident number from dispatch or the incident command. In Block 3, the check-in staff selects their location. In our case, there's a staging area receiving new responders, so that's our location. If our location wasn't represented here, we'd simply select Other and write the location below that checkbox. As usual, Block 4 is where you'll write in the date the form was filled out. For our example, it's August the 16th at 0700. I'll admit, Block 5 looks overwhelming, but it's actually pretty simple. It identifies the arriving resources and basic details about them. For this example, we're adding a fire department asset. You may have noticed the fields are pretty small. If the fields in a form are too small to write or type in, you can create your own legend or key with abbreviations, as we've done here, and use the abbreviations in the form. Just be sure to keep a copy of the legend with the form. First is the resource's state of origin. In our incident, we have resources from the state of Colombia. It's a state that FEMA made up for exercises like this, so don't go looking for it on a map. Agency refers to the entity who provided the resource. Our resources are from Liberty County. Because this is a fire department asset, we'll enter fire for the category. Kind refers to what the resource does. For this example, we'll enter hazardous materials unit, but you can always ask the resource to provide their kind if you don't know. Type refers to the resource's capabilities. Here, we'll add Type 3. Remember, the smaller the type rating, the more capable the unit. Again, if you're unsure of the type, just ask the resource. You can also use FEMA's Resource Typing Library tool, RTLT, to find out information on resource types and kinds. The RTLT acts as a one-stop shop for information on all kinds of resources used in emergency management. Check it out using the link underneath this video. For resource name or identifier, we'll enter Liberty County Hazmat. On your own time, consider reviewing the form's instructions for this section to learn about strike team and task force identifiers. Which brings us to the ST or TF, which means strike team or task force column. A strike team has one kind of resource. For example, a team of ambulances with crews in a mass casualty incident. A task force is a combination of resource kinds. For example, an urban search and rescue team comprised of emergency medical technicians, surgeons, and structural engineers. In our incident, we have a hazmat team. Would you consider them a strike team or task force? You ready for the answer? If you answered task force, you're right. And that's no surprise to me. Since our hazmat is a task force, we know it's a unit with a mix of kinds of resources. Think of the ICS Form 211 as a spreadsheet, where you put things so that they can easily be sorted. For example, what if the public information officer asks you how many fire resources you have on scene? Hold on, boss, sort, and done. See why it is so important not to skip the blocks. Many people will use the information you gather now for later down the road. I'm not telling you anything new here, but all arriving resources should have an associated order request number. When the resource signs into the incident, we'll enter their order request number in Block 6. This number helps the logistics section confirm all resources that were ordered have arrived. Block 7 is straightforward. Here, we'll include the date and time the resource checked in. In Block 8, we'll add the name of the leader of the resource. In Block 9, we'll record the total number of people associated with this resource. Be sure to include the resource's leader in this count. In Block 10, enter the resource's incident contact information that can be used to contact them on site. So we wouldn't list the leader's home phone number, and yes, I still have one. Instead, we want their cell phone number. In Block 11, list the unit's home agency. In this case, it is Liberty County. In Block 12, enter where the resource came from and when they departed their home base. In our example, the resource left their firehouse at 0500. In Block 7, they signed into the incident at 0600, so it took an hour to get on scene. Command and general staff use this information for reimbursement. In Block 13, include the travel method, government vehicle, personally owned vehicle, ambulance, and so on. Block 14 lists their assignment, which you can keep general. In our example, the hazmat team is assigned to the hazmat response, as one would expect. In Block 15, enter any additional resource qualifications. Knowing their other qualifications helps leadership leverage their skills to accomplish objectives. In our example, the hazmat team is also qualified to fight fires, so now the incident commander knows this hazmat team could also back up the fire response. Block 16 is where we'll document whether we provided the data to the resources unit or not. The resources unit tracks the status of all resources on the scene. Getting them, this information is critical because they supply information about resource availability to the operations section chief and the incident commander. This in turn enables the operations section chief and incident commander to build more effective strategies and tactics. Ultimately, if they don't know what or who is available to them, they can't use it, and the response suffers. Can you believe it? We're at the end, Block 17, which should include the name, title, and signature of the person who completed the form. As the incident progresses, the operations section chief may establish a staging area manager to oversee the check-in process and manage the deployment of resources. The signature and date also let us know when they handed over the document to the resources unit leader. The resources unit leader uses the form's information in a tracking system or starts making T-cards, otherwise known as resource status cards. ICS Form 219. And while we're at the bottom of the page, it's worth noting that if you complete this entire form, you get a lifetime pass to your local gym. Okay, not really. But if you do get to the end and need more space, just grab another form to add to it. Be sure to write down how many forms you've used somewhere on the page. For example, in the bottom of the form, we could indicate page 2 of 4. That's it for the incident check-in list, ICS Form 211. Thanks for watching.